We had Savannah's endo appointment yesterday, virtual. I had to get her out of school early. There was a conflict with the schedule, so they had to move it to virtual. So we met with the nurse yesterday before the doctor. I've never seen this nurse. And it turns out she was actually a type 1 diabetic. So it was kind of nice to talk to her about things. They definitely made some changes to her pump settings because she's been running relatively high. I think she's only been in range the past few weeks, like 36%. They would like her to be 60%. Usually we're 50, but I don't know if she's having like a growth spurt. I know they say, excuse me, it has really not much to do with it, but she has hypothyroidism and she takes a pill every day. And sometimes I feel like when her thyroid's off, it affects her blood sugar, but they say no, but I guess they know. What do I know? So they did pump changes, like basically giving her more insulin each time we dose. For snack, I've been only doing like 8 or 10 grams of carbs because she has snack at like 10 and then she doesn't have lunch until like 12:50. So I think that's a long time. And I don't like to try to prevent lows to like have disruptions in class, but they were like, no, don't do that anymore. Give the exact amount of carbs, just because then the algorithm of the pump is trying to catch up and figure everything out. So I don't know. What do I know? I thought I was like doing the right thing, trying to like trick it maybe so she wouldn't go low, but nope, they don't want me to do that. So today she had gym. I did normal carbs and I just looked. I think she was like 165, which is great. Hopefully she stays okay until she has lunch. But she had softball last night and she stayed pretty steady, like 190. And then she was eating when we got home. I find it so hard, and I don't know if anyone else struggles with this, but she never doses herself when she eats. So I'm constantly like, Savannah, you're eating. Did you give insulin? Nope. So it's like, okay, we need to give insulin. Where's your phone? Or she'll be like, oh, it's easier if you just do it. And I'm trying to, I know she's only 9, but I'm trying to be like, please, every time you put something in your mouth, you need to get your phone and give yourself insulin. And it's just, I feel like I struggle with it. So she was kind of high last night. Like, what was she at? Like when I went to bed at like 11:30, I think she was like 265. And then of course at like 3 a.m., thankfully she was 85, like steady. And Dexter alerted me, and I was like, okay, she's 85, like thanks. And then of course, like 20 minutes later, the alarm sounds. She's 67. So I jumped out of bed. When she goes low in the middle of the night, I just do chocolate milk. I just think it's easier, some protein. She doesn't really have to chew anything. So I gave her a cup of chocolate milk, and then I think she went down to like 58. And then after like, I don't know, a half hour, she started going back up, and then she was fine. But like, I'm exhausted today because the lows like kill you. You wake up, you're sleeping, you wake up. I'm trying to like function, get her chocolate milk, make sure she's drinking it and not falling back to sleep because she has a habit of doing that. Um, so just like things like that, I feel like that people just don't think about or like understand when you have a child with type 1 diabetes. Like, your job is never done. You never get a break. You're constantly worrying. So, and I was wondering if it was maybe the changes we made with the pump. Like, was she, I don't know, did she get too much insulin and she went low? So hopefully I don't notice a pattern of adjustments. We go back to them in August. And I also brought up, I don't know if anyone else has had any issues, but we've had issues with the pump. Friday night, we had 4 pumps fail and also lift. I swear, and it could just be me, unless it's the batch we have, the adhesive is different. It's not sticking. So I put the pumps on, they would start to lift. And I'm like, well, let's just, let's insert it and see what happens. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden it was like communication error, retry or discard pump. And I kept hitting retry, retry. Nope, 4 pumps later. But they said they haven't heard anything. And they were going to talk to the Omnipod instructor and just see if she's heard anything. But they also said to report it. And I'm like, yes, I will, but it's such a pain in the neck to call them because you're on hold forever. They ask you a million questions, and who has time to be on hold? I wish they had the thing Dexcom has where you can just go on the app and put in all the numbers and tell them, like, this was a failure Dexcom, or like failure pump. Like, come on, get with the times. But she did also talk about the Tandem, I believe it is, pump coming out within the next year, and it's going to be tubeless. And she says it has a better algorithm, which Savannah has been talking about the Tandem. I think I'm saying it right. But I just feel like having the tubes would be too much. Like, pumps fall off as it is now without having tubes and stuff. So I just would be concerned. Like, sometimes she'll catch her pump on the desk. So I'm like, yeah, once it comes out tubeless, would love to look into it and see. She said it's just a little better than the Omnipod. So I don't know if anyone has the Tandem now and how they like it. I feel like I've heard good feedback from people. But I don't know. She likes to swim a lot, and I believe you have to disconnect it when you're swimming. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that would be a good thing because it's not giving insulin. You don't have to risk going low. I don't know. I don't know. It's always something to think about. What are you doing, lady? Sorry. Um, so yeah, I'm doing a training today with Dexter at 1 o'clock. Me and the trainer are gonna go over some things. He was at school all day yesterday. He did great. Of course, he does great with them. I don't know. I swear it's me. I don't know what I do to him to make him protective, even though they say he's not protective of me, but I swear it's me. So we're doing a training. I feel like every few weeks I need like a new lesson to just refresh myself on how I'm supposed to handle certain situations with him. The other night we were playing with the neighbors, and Savannah and the neighbors were doing like the rocket launcher thing where you stomp on it and the rockets fly up, and he was going crazy trying to run after them, and I was like holding him back using his e-collar. He was like biting me because he was upset. And I said something to the trainer yesterday when I picked him up, and she's like, you need to create distance. You need to move back. And I'm like, I was just trying to talk to my neighbor, have like a normal conversation. And it's like, sorry, my dog's reacting. I have to go take like 30 steps back to create distance. Like, I was talking to my sister this morning, and it's like, it's so frustrating because this wasn't supposed to be my life. Like, we were supposed to get this service dog that was going to be great. I didn't know I was going to be spending all my free time training them, going over things. And it's just like, I know I think about it and I have to forget about it and move on because it is what it is. But like, this isn't what, like, I paid or fundraised and paid $19,000 for this dog to not have to do this crap. And here I am. They have $19,000 of mine, and I got screwed, and I'm still doing training. Can't take him in public because he's a crazy person. He reacts to motorcycles, landscape trucks. Like, it's embarrassing. And I know I just need to take it for what it is and move on and just keep going. But I'm like, this is why he cost so much, because he was supposed to come trained and not want to react to everybody and everything. And I mean, it's almost like I'm starting over. I'm retraining him. And let me tell you, it's not easy. I lose my patience a lot, and I'm an anxious person myself. So having like an anxious dog, an anxious person, an anxious kid, we're screwed. We're a big ball of anxiousness. So I don't know. Hopefully the training session goes well. And I mean, Jen is like absolutely amazing. I wish I had her knowledge and she's just like a dog whisperer. And I wish some days I'm like, should I go to school and be a dog trainer? I feel like I'm this far into everything with Dexter. I could make my own diabetic alert dogs or train my own diabetic alert dogs for people and train them properly so no one ever has to go through what I'm going through or what I've been through with him. So yeah, some days I'm just like more pissed off about it. Other days I'm like, it is what it is. But this is just the shit that happens to me. I feel like, I don't know, they say God gives you what you can handle, and I didn't know I could handle all this. And quite frankly, I don't want to deal with all this all the time. Like, I'm tired. Like I feel like dealing with Dexter all the time and his behaviors is sometimes like Savannah's blood sugar's high, and like I'm not like on her case, like do insulin. Could her sugars be better if I wasn't spending all my time with Dexter trying to train him? And I don't know. I don't know. So that's it. I just thought I would come on and just give you an update. Hopefully her sugars um, get better, and Dexter gets better, which I know he will. It's just going to be time. God knows how long. So that's it. But I will check in with you guys probably tomorrow or the next day. Um, if you can, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to us. And enjoy this beautiful day. Bye.